Hello and welcome to my first video of me in isolation. I'm wearing a hat because if I didn't, I think I'd feel like I was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest or something. But actually, maybe wearing the hat makes me feel even more like that. Maybe Jack Nicholson or something. But just to, keep my temperatures up and whatnot. So what can I tell you? We had our stem cell birthday the other day, and I'm presently creating a video for that where the sound levels are hopefully going to be enough that you can hear everyone. So I thought I would just explain a little bit about isolation. Isolation is what you can imagine isolation might be. It is staying in a small room on your own with nurses occasionally barging in to do things to you. Not nasty things to you, injections and infusions and blood tests and ECGs and all the normal things that you'll be very used to having done anyway. It's so second nature. Blood tests, as I've said before, they just hook some little vessels up to here and fill them up, and they're done in 30 seconds. That's really easy. An injection I get once a day, and they clean your bed, they clean your room. You generally have to hang around in these beautiful hospital wards. I mean, I will show you the full range of fashion that's available, and whoa dear, I'm not very good on my legs really. But there you go, look, woo! Hospital whites, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. And I did have, as I told you, a urinary catheter for a couple of days. Good few days. That was fantastic. Absolutely loved it. Can't talk highly enough of them for the lazy man. They took that out, so I'm now in adult nappies for a couple of days, just in case I forget how to use the muscles in my bladder, but it's fine. Back to complete normal, so I don't really need them. Just a precaution. Food has been very simple. I try and insert a photo into the video here to show you. I mean, 2 days in a row I've had like a hunk of meat with 2 stewed apples. And you think, what kind of meal is that? Like, I've heard of meat and 2 veg, but meat and 2 fruit. But do you know what? It's just what you feel like. There's something weird about isolation where you don't really want these rich foods. I don't know whether it's the chemicals in your bodies, but there's something really nice about a lovely tender meat with this very soft fruit. It goes really well together. So breakfast is pretty normal. I think dinner was pretty normal yesterday as well. So food's been fine, and you can sort of eat into whatever stocks that you have as well. So what other differences are there? Well, you can't eat certain foods. So there are certain foods, non-pasteurized, fresh fruit and vegetables, things that are going to likely carry bacteria. So tinned stuff is fine, things that are very well preserved. And it's always worth putting things in a microwave to begin with, because that'll give them a bit of a quick, short, sharp sort of burst of death. Washing, you can't shower. So there are waterborne bacteria that hang around. So what they do is they give you 2 bottles of private water for your private parts, and body water cleaning stuff for your body parts. And what you do is you use these sort of packets of scrubs that look a bit like these gauzes, and you thoroughly soak them, and you just wash yourselves down as if they're flannels. The nurse will help you do your back. That's fine. So you do that once a day. Well, you can do it as many times as you want, but then they come in and make you do that in the morning whilst they make your bed. So you get a fresh bed every morning, and they clean the room. They always take your temperature several times a day and your heart rate. And luckily my heart rate has been absolutely bang on. and my temperature is fine. In fact, they said my temperatures are maybe marginally low. I need a cup of tea or something, so I put my hat on. But basically, my stats are really, really good, which is fantastic. I'm going to show you a sheet now, and this is a sheet that will keep you company during your isolation, and hopefully you should be able to see this clear enough. So here you have your day. Oops, wrong end. Day 1, day 2. So I'm on day 2 now. Day 3, day 4, day 5. Blah blah blah. Hemoglobin is basically your blood count, and that needs to be above. What does it say there? It needs to be above 80. So they want that above 80, and at the moment mine's 97 and 93, so that's fine. My leukocytes is basically my immune system, really, and that's what they're trying to kill off. And it went from 0.8 yesterday to 0.2, so he's really happy that that's already really low. He's drawn a sort of little sort of graph line so that around day 4, 5, 6 is where you want 0, because 1 to 3% of those leukocytes are your cells that they really want to get rid of. So 1 to 3% of 0 is 0. So they want nothing left of those nasty old school immune cells. Your platelets are also necessary. You need them. You need more than 20. I've got 78. I've dropped to 61. As long as I keep it above 20, then that's fine. And then they take your weight and all these other things. So that will fill up throughout the week, and you'll get an idea of where you're at. Now, if some of your vitals drop below where they should do, so if your blood's dropped below 80 here, and maybe your platelets below 20, they can give you transfusions. So, and that's probably not uncommon. I obviously don't want one of them because it sounds like a bit of a hassle. But yeah, so there are things to do for all occasions. Some people are asking me about why I had 3 stem cell bags infused into me, that was the most difficult part of the whole process. And as I mentioned, some people, before you have chemotherapy, they stimulate your stem cells by giving you stimulating infusions. And what that does is it promotes your bones to create extra stem cells. And sometimes that will make people get quite a lot of pain in their sort of pelvis and sternum and these other places that create the bone, the stem cells. Now, I figure the flip side of that is, if you get quite a bit of pain at the beginning during a stimulation phase, you're more likely to be stimulating more stem cells, which means that you might only take 1 day to have your stem cells harvested. Your body might have produced enough in that time. It took me 3 days to produce enough stem cells to do the stem cell transplantation. So my body was just like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, stimulation for these bones, no, not really bothered. So I found that period really easy, but then I had 3 bags of stem cells in order to put back in rather than 1. So that meant that that process was prolonged, maybe a half an hour process instead of maybe 10-15 minutes of just 1 stem cell bag put in. And each of those felt more and more pressure on my chest as they're injecting them in manually into my jugular. And for whatever reason, that gave me the pressure. And my face was really sort of hot, as I said in the video. But after that, a bit of sleep and then the stem cell party and a nice cake and, Bob's your uncle. So really, that should explain why I had 3 stem cell bags put in rather than some people might have 2 or 1. It just depends how many they take out in the first place, how easy it is for your body to produce stem cells. I don't think there's much else other than, you've got to keep yourself company in here. I'm spending a lot of time sort of working on videos, doing some writing, reading, playing games on a computer, all those kind of like social media, all the stuff that we fill our days with that we think are really important but probably aren't. But you're going to have to find time to fill out up to 10 days. So be prepared for that, and make sure everything's clean. You are dropping your immune system, or your immune system is dropping daily. So just be careful what you do, and make sure you use a hand wash all the time. And you're in good hands. They always say that if you're ever feeling anything different, any temperature rise, any feeling of discomfort, anything that's different, let them know. There are plenty of alarm bells around, and they're always on hand, and they're always in here. You know, you don't get much privacy, but that's for a good reason. So hopefully that's a little insight into isolation. It's fine so far, as long as you're used to your own company. I mean, luckily I am really interesting and very cool and always funny, and so I can just sit here and talk to myself. Oh, how droll. Actually, I've started talking to myself a bit. You know, those little things where you go, oh, where did I put that? Did I put that over there? Or did I, you know, those things where you wouldn't probably normally talk to yourself. But, you know, got to keep yourself company, eh? So I don't know how many more of these videos I'll do, because it'll be much more of the same. I might keep you updated on my stats and figures to see if you're interested in that. But thank you for loads of your feedback about these videos and them being useful, because that's really the whole point of it. Because when I came into this whole journey and procedure, I really didn't have a clue what to expect, and I think you need a visual understanding of what goes on, just to calm your nerves a little bit, and to see that other people go through it, and to know that, hey, it's fine. Obviously, I've had plain sailing so far, so it's always risky to say, well, you know, John he did a great job and he was fine, so I'll be fine. You know, that you never know the complications. This is not a risk-free enterprise, but you are in really good hands, the best in the world, and for that I'm absolutely positive. Anyway, toodle pips for now. Hope that was useful. Laters.